raw, not even getting out of breath, making YouTube videos. Calipers and disc brakes, the war goes on. Disc brake rage. Personally, I think unless you know how to properly handle a road bicycle on calipers, alright, you shouldn't be riding a road bike with disc brakes, because you're probably going to end up on your ass. Not needed. I've gone down mountain passes, I've gone down hills at pretty much warp speed, as fast as you can go on some descents. I've cut carbon rims, alright, I have, but I know how to brake. And then some descents, like I'm talking about maybe on the verges of like, or on the like alpine passes and things, you don't really want to be braking. You just take up the road and hoon round corners at 60 odd mile an hour. Otherwise, just slow down beforehand, keep going on and off the brakes. Don't like go on them to the point where like your arms are gonna hurt. I mean, it's difficult to explain, but my whole point being is I've never had a problem with caliper brakes on carbon rims, in the wet, whatever. There was a thing called knowing how to use your brakes, pretty much. Alright, we're not even getting on to the part of like how stupid it looks on a road bike. Alright, how stupid it even looks on a marketing BS gravel bike. They should have just like old school cantilever brakes or whatever. It just looks ridiculous. Alright, people buying into all this crap. Calipers are so easy to set up, pads are so easy to purchase. Someone like commented on a Diddley Royder video about like how they live in Wales and they couldn't afford to use a bike with calipers. Right, okay, so I'm taking it they've got a bike with disc brakes that they've gone out and spent money on. So even in the wet, right, with disc brakes, you're still going to get wet and shiz on that brake, and it's going to grind down to like a paste eventually. And those sintered pads or whatever, they don't last that long. I've used them. I used to ride downhill all the time, people. Downhill mountain bikes. And those pads were pretty spendy. I mean, you can buy them in bulk off eBay. I have bought some. You can buy them cheaper. But cantilever pads are even cheaper still. Not a problem. I mean, you don't always need to be braking unless you're making a YouTube video like this now. That's what I mean, learn how to brake. You're probably braking too much. And then when it's wet anyway, you don't want to be riding like a dick anyway, really, if you don't know how to brake. And it always goes back to no matter what I can say or do, or other people can say or do, right? It's like basically passing on information to people that don't know any different. You noob cyclists, like, you can get a cyclist who thinks he's been riding a bike for 10 or 15 years and he'd still be a noob, you know? I don't mean that in a degrading way. There's people out there with knowledge, like myself and other people, that need to pass on other things to other riders. Or it's how other people expected to learn. People have done for me, you know, especially mechanics wise. A good friend picked up a lot of stuff, and if it weren't for their wise words and help and know-how, I wouldn't be where I am like with that. So very thankful and grateful, you know. So you best listen to people, not some cycle shop who ain't really got a clue, just want to sell you a bike. People want to tell you the honest truth. There's no more efficient way to stop a bicycle on the outside of the wheel, right? Not in the centre on a silly disc brake. It's the most inefficient way to stop. You ain't even got the weight there for starters. It's a lightweight bike, it's not needed. You know, I could even argue the point as go as far as mountain bikes. Downhill bike, you could argue, yeah, because you're going downhill very fast. You need that like braking efficiency, that effort. But I mean, I've got an old like Kona mountain bike at home. That's got like cantilever brakes on it. And I never really had a problem with it. Never. And I used to ride that little 16-inch frame lava dome hard and everywhere. Used to love it. I might build it back up at some point if I can find some of the parts. But anyway, we digress. So yeah, what will be the next thing, like, you know? I don't think you're going to really worry about like calipers and things becoming obsolete. There'll always be Like, you can go and buy a disc brake bike now, a Giant or something. You look after that, you'll have that bike for the rest of your life. Alright, you could buy it and not even give it a chain swap, just wear stuff out. It's going to last you 10, 20 plus years, you know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of it, what we are up against is kind of, we're all into it to a degree. It's like OCD, isn't it? New chain and new lights and new tyres and stuff. That's part of the fun of it as well. I get that. It's nice to buy new things and that. But falling into all this marketing BS. Anyway, P-Roll's Caliper disc brake rant for today. Over and out.